allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind. Off your
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. He go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun ti dé ọ̀rẹ́ lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Ọmọ Sàkáláyà ọ̀nù olè, Tinubu olè, ọ̀rọ̀ jẹ́ filẹ̀ bàbá rẹ̀ pọ̀ gbòòrò ẹ̀dẹ̀, ẹni wọ́n filẹ̀ wọ̀ náà, ọmọ Sàkáláyà ọ̀nà, ọ̀lẹ́ látúbọ̀ kan lẹ́dẹ̀ yìí, ọ̀lẹ́ nípò kankan mọ́ lẹ́dẹ̀ yìí, ilẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ bínú sí ọ, àwọn tó sílẹ̀ fún ẹ̀dẹ̀, wọ́n bínú sí ọ, ọmọ Sàkáláyà ọ̀nà, ìṣẹ́jọ́ náà jẹ́ ọ̀lẹ́ ní jẹ́, ọmọ Sàkáláyà ọ̀nà, ọ̀lẹ́ jẹ́ filẹ̀ bàbá rẹ̀ pọ̀ gbòòrò ẹ̀dẹ̀, ẹni wọ́n filẹ̀ wọ̀ náà. Ọmọ Sàkáláyà ọ̀nù olè, Tinubu olè, ọ̀rọ̀.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are joining us at this moment. It is brunch time with Maiyegun. Tell everybody that Maiyegun today first.
I'm here tonight. Lórí Facebook.
The storm is gathering. The cloud is gathering. The clock is ticking. Desperation is becoming more obvious. Though they might pretend or continue to pretend. Don't be like, say, when the witch, they confess. Read the caption of this broadcast, the description of this broadcast. Share it to invite your friends, your not so friendly friends. Tell them, Maiyegun today. Today. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us this moment. It is Maiyegun live, and it's actually brunch time with Maiyegun. Thank you so much. And if you are watching me on YouTube and you're having any problem with commenting, please, how would you even let me know? How would I know? Okay, I'll continue to observe. Okay, so I kind of observe that there seems to be like the comment section on the YouTube is not active. Is that? Anyway, thank you. So yesterday, I know, as we are counting days to the days of rage, national protests, more and more groups, inconsequential people are throwing themselves into the discussion by making declaration and some useless threats. Even though we continue to see evidence of the desperation of Tifnumbu and his handlers, yet they continue to deny too. But the diary, we always keep the record. So you're welcome to the temple this morning or afternoon. Shittyman, Tifnumbu's vice, was somewhere yesterday, and they were talking about something entirely different. But he had to bring the conversation of whether people are to protest or not, right? And then he went on to say, in the last 1 year, Tifnumbu has created Tifnumbu's regime has attracted over 300,000 businesses. That means over 300,000 businesses started in Nigeria. So if you have the list of some companies who left Nigeria, they are inconsequential. Tifnumbu created 300,000, and he has also created 5 million jobs. That this protest that you are complaining of hunger, hardship, it's just a little sacrifice you have to make, because if you give Tifnumbu time, by the time he is done, Nigeria will beat the best economy in the world, right? Okay, and not just that, Nigeria will beat technological advancement in the world. That's what he said. So don't listen to anybody that tells you to go and protest. Well, the story of Tifnumbu is not Tifnumbu and his APC, Egbekegbe. I don't think it's fully a story of, karma. Okay, it's not a kind of a karma. It's a story of somebody who is berry. That is somebody who is an executioner. An executioner is an expert when it comes to how he wield his axe. He's an expert when it comes to the texture of human, neck in the human anatomy. But do you know something that I believe that an executioner fear most is to see somebody behind them holding an axe, or holding a knife. They will always believe that that person might want to chop up their head. And in that paranoia, they will begin to condemn cutting heads off. Somebody will be execution now. Knowing that somebody behind them is holding an axe, they can automatically change and begin to condemn cutting off heads. It's so bad. Listen, holding an axe is bad. That axe you are holding, you can hurt somebody. That axe that you are holding, you can cut somebody off. But that's your job. That is what you've been doing. A serial protester using gullible people. It is now time for them to possibly prove everything they've make you condemn. So prove otherwise. They started the sermon, as we have seen so far. But here is a minute throwback before we go fully into all of their machination, propaganda, gaslighting. Tifnumbu APC, Egbekegbe, you have destroyed the lives of the people. You've destroyed Nigeria, and you have no way out or any kind of explanation. But 10 years ago, this was your leader, Tifnumbu, the same druggie, the drug addicts, and the drug baron.
Those who could improve this situation for the good of all of us do not allow the opportunity to make things better for us. They make it better for themselves, for their comfort and their families. Cronyism is prevailing. Today, our rulers in Abuja and across some of their states, you know what they say to us when they remove subsidy and we say no? Hunger is increasing, they say, so what? Unemployment is a cause, they say, yes, we know. Why are the people hungry? Is that let them face death. That is what is in Abuja of today. The current way of governance make nation do the impossible. What it does, it makes poverty and the erosion of just society inevitable. We have gathered at this hour in this place to put an end to the national corruption and corruption. We have assembled here today to bring a new day, a new Nigeria to our people. Today, the Nigerian people are decent and hardworking people. They are equally long suffering. They tolerate for too long. Just because they are long suffering does not mean they should be forced to suffer until death comes. We, our people, we've had enough of excuses. Our people have had enough of having nothing. The current government's trademark is to throw empty words, all action at our problem, as if doing nothing will cause our troubles to live for sheer boredom. Unemployment increases. Industrialization, we have nothing. Refinery, nothing is working. Electricity, they lie. If this is the government of, if this is the government's idea of transformation, and we have none of it, we should not have any of it. Because Before, we said the government of slow motion. Now, it is the government of no motion at all. If they want to stand still at the bus stop or train station and be stagnated without poverty, they have the right to do so. And we have a right to kick them out. Not enough that they are stealing from our children tomorrow for lack of investment in education. They are still embezzling the retirement benefit of hardworking Nigerians, including our grandfathers. They are stealing the port, the treasury, not even leaving some coins for us to war with. Let them be out. Out now.
Nuisance lele.
And that is how they destroyed lives of millions of people, including children, in that contraption. That's how they did it. Today, they now have phobia, okay, for opposition. They have phobia. Every time you call them out, they get phobia. If you are not arrested, you get killed, intimidated, threatened. They lie to people that they are destroying their lives, and they are telling them, don't worry, we know you are struggling. We know. Nigeria has gone to the gutters, totally. And the people have had enough. We have had enough. End bad governance now. End bad governance in Nigeria. Who are the bad government? APC. Egbe. But they are not going to give up. No way, no chance. Propaganda on steroid. That's what they are running now. Propaganda on steroid. When they destroy people's lives. People are saying, you are destroying our lives. They say, no, shut up your mouth. Which life? Now today they destroy life. Stop shouting. Just go and pray that, okay, even if your life don't spoil, may God just come and change them for you. No human being can change your life, but human being can spoil your life. They started gaslighting the people. Now things have gotten so bad that they are actually praising themselves. Shittyman came out and said they have created over 5 million jobs, and there are nobody there to say where and where. And they were going to go and print out all these fancy looking graphic this and that and say, oh, Tifnumbu has given 1 million truck of rice. He has given 100 billion naira to people, or 1 trillion naira to people who are poor. Now they said they will give you graduates. All of you graduates, we don't get money. They will give you 150,000 naira. Don't protest, okay? Tifnumbu has something for all of you. All of you are poor, very, very poor. You get 50,000 naira. At last, you get 50. Or if you be graduate, we don't get job, you get 150,000 naira. Go to Kano. They are already sharing rice. Go to Kirby. Go to all these places. Go to Ondo. They don't share them a powdered rice. And to them, what else do you want him to do?
To the states, and the governor should be allowed to do whatever they think
the monies does not belong to the states. The monies belong to the local government. They are a tier of government. The monies belong to the local government by constitution. There is a local government autonomy. But this president has seen it to himself to go to the Supreme Court and affirm that constitutional right.
Yeah, seeking financial autonomy.
Absolutely. And it is good. And look at what he's done with the minimum wage. The fastest ever. We have increased minimum wage. I think this is the 7th time we've increased minimum wage. This is the fastest in less than 9 months or maybe 10 months since he came in
actually,
like a year.
Negotiations started since April.
It's actually the fastest at 70,000 naira. That's about 125% increment.
Well,
and he's saying instead of
133%.
So, and he's saying instead of 5 years, we're going to review after every 3 years. Sumner, let me tell you, the truth is, we should be patriotic enough to love ourselves.
Yeah, but Nigerians are hungry, and that's why they want to go to the streets to let those in government know how bitter they are. And the protest is not just against the federal government. But why does it look like
that is what
Abuja is more worried than the states?
No, because everybody is worried about Abuja. When I have a problem in Kano, I call out Abuja. Look at what is happening in Kano. There is nothing going on apart from politicking. It's either there is a problem with success with the past governor and the present governor, or there is an issue with Emirate, and there is nothing going on, absolutely nothing going on in the state. And people are not calling out the governor and saying focus on governance and leave politics. Everybody will now start calling the president. Do you understand what I'm saying? And Sumner, about talking about hunger, I'll give you an example. I was in Kano, I'm from Kano. I was in Kano during fasting, Sumner. A sachet of a pure water, ice blocked, was sold inside Ramadan at 700 naira per one. 700 naira. Immediately after Ramadan, it came down to 200 naira. Wow. It is the poor that is inflicting pains on the poor. We need to love ourselves. The same thing happened during the Eid al-Fitr, the Big Salah, the Eid al-Kabir, the Big Salah. I was in Kano 2 days to Salah. The basket of potato was sold at 120,000 naira. Immediately after Salah, it came down to 30,000. Is that Ashwaju? Is that the president? Is the president going to Enkaba market or Dakata market to take up the prices of commodities?
There should be measures, protests.
So you see, that is where I say the NOA need to do a lot of works. Just last week, or this week, somewhere around the week, I saw the MD of NAL Fund. That's the student loan.
Yeah, the student
talking
loan.
About the enrollment of over 100,000 people. And almost 60% of those students, or 70% of those students, are from the north.
Yeah, I mean,
do you understand?
Too,
do you understand? So
the interest actually from the north
and it's ironical to now see that it is the northern Nigeria that is getting more on the student loan, and it is the same northern Nigeria that are now coming out to say, I want to call out the president. It tells you that there is a transparency in the process. The president is from the southwest. He did not tell the MD of NAL Fund to now give focus on his region. He told him to just do the right thing. And 70% of the people that are applied and are getting paid, are getting their loans, are from the northern Nigeria. How about the palliatives that we are giving to governors? That is why I say people should call out their governors. 5 billion naira. Since last year.
Yeah, but the government has been criticized of not, being smart in some of its policies. Like, for example, how can you justify the sharing of 20,000 bags of rice to Kano State and 20,000 of bag of rice to maybe like Abia State when the population differs, or maybe Ekiti State and Gombe and all of that?
So you see, proportional based on whatever it is you do as a government, people will criticize. If you now decide as a president to give Yobe 5 trucks and give Kano 20 trucks, they will complain.
Yeah, but I mean, shouldn't it be based on proportional distribution?
I think it's okay, and I think it's okay to share the same numbers. There is no problem in that. Meanwhile, there is over 4.3 million bags of fertilizer that are being shared for free from the CBN.
Well, so many people say that the governors seem to have hijacked that sharing of fertilizers, and farmers are not getting it.
So it means we ask our governors the questions. The president has given an order to CBN to share it out for free. CBN brought a proposal of selling it at 50%. The president said, no, 4-point-something million bags of fertilizer, give it out for free. For God's sake, this man is trying, Sumner.
Well,
he's trying.
That is what they do. Everything he's saying there is a lie. When I say everything, believe me, everything. Now, what they do in Nigeria is this. They will bring politicians to their studio, okay? Just some talking heads, right? Because they want to be seen to be discussing what is going on. As a journalist, that is bringing somebody to your studio, does that not mean that you have your data, verified data, backed questions? When you ask a mere political jobber and they come on TV, they appear like they are somebody or something, or mere political jobbers. Their job is to go on TV and repeat all these lies. And guess what? Their media, their presenters, oh, okay. Like they are just speaking to somebody who is actually spitting facts. Everything is said here is a lie. Ask yourself, why is central bank sharing fertilizer? What is the connection between central bank of a country and sharing fertilizer or selling fertilizers? What? Oh, the president directed that 4.5 million fertilizers. Oh, where is the proof of the that there is actually a 4.5 million fertilizers? Abi? And then when you begin to actually, as you realize, I saw bollock. 70% of those, the beneficiary of student loan, they are from Kano. Somebody said that yesterday. He went on TV today and he repeated the same thing. It must be true. The person that said it, the chairman of their student loan, said, "Oh, I think I don't have the data here with me, but maybe I can provide." He said that, but he went ahead to drop a figure. And another political jobber from Kano is on TV. Their job is, listen, everything you are witnessing is mostly not because of you, the Southerners. Now the thugs they will use for you, the Agberos, those ones are ready. But the problem is the Northern Nigeria. Because I won't lie to you. No matter what you think you are hearing, all these reactions is because it is now guaranteed that something will go down from the 1st of August. I'm talking about something really that will shake the Sharia knot themselves. So they have to do everything to divert it, to douse it, and keep pointing fingers and manufacturing achievements. Tifnubu has done this, Tifnubu has done that. But the people that were supposed to be the proof that it did them, they are the ones who are starving, dropping dead, hungry. You gave them 70,000. Look at the minimum wage, 70,000. Look at government autonomy. This president is doing everything, but by fact, he has done absolute none of that. Supreme Court says, pay the local government their money. Oh, great, fine. So we will need 3 months to do that, right? But for now, we'll still pay the money to you. But they said with immediate effect, what are you doing? I said, no, we will let the governor still have the money for the next 3 months, and then we'll see how to go about it. But they've made the people believe that, yes. Same thing with the student loan. No data, no nothing, just word of mouth. The president has released money and he said we must disburse this money and we will disburse this money. Oh, great. The president has given the money. This is somebody who is not from the Ministry of Education. It is a business opportunity created by Tifnumbu, just like Bokwari created the office for his former girlfriend, Shadia. Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster. 4 trillion naira disappeared. Nigerians who are supposed to be the poor to be lifted out of poverty, but they just dug them inside the Congo, the well of poverty. More people dumped more people inside the poverty. For themselves, they are now like choice property owners all over the world. A court just ruled that she must return 923 billion naira. A court said the woman should return that. So you see, this student loan as well is another shop for them. They can manufacture figures. Yeah. Remember, yen and all that. So all of this is just to talk to the north. Now that Tifnumbu is in Abuja, so Abuja is now becoming Lagos, if it hasn't already. And they already have the idea of a Miloko in Abuja. These are those ones from, who the hell are you to tell people, don't come here and protest? You are not what? You are what? Like, we don't want protest here. We want dialogue. Fine. Then go and dialogue and let those who want to protest. But they are giving different press releases everywhere. Everybody they give press release. Eh? Take a look at these Abuja people. This one said they are the Abuja, indigenous Abuja people. Our indigenous ronukus. They don't claim Abuja now.
We hear that the FCT youth have decided during their deliberation to distance themselves from the planned protests or from the planned nationwide protests. And some of the reasons they have given is that the FCT youth have on several fora before now protested, agitated, gone on the street to protest, and it has never yielded any result. Rather, what has brought FCT results is dialogue.
As a civil society group, that we are not going to partake in the protest. And anybody who is planning to come to FCT and stage any protest, the original inhabitant will never allow that to take place in FCT. If you have a protest to stage it in your state. We are sounding it loud and clear. We remain steady, we remain steadfast, we await more as we still expect more to come. Thank you.
No to protest. We, the women of indigenous people of FCT, we said no to any protest that they want to do. If you have any protest that you want to do, go back to your state and allow us to be in peace. Because
you get that? The talking point of the ronukus of Lagos. Go back to Anambra. Adekunle Adefioye should go back to Anambra because they won't lick the ass off the drug dealer, Tifnumbu. Yes. Go back to Anambra. They are already now telling people to go back to their state in Abuja now. They said they are the indigenous people of Abuja. Abuja is for baggy people. Baggy people. This woman look like you, or is this woman one of you?
No to protest. We, the women of indigenous people of FCT, we said no to any protest that they want to do. If you have any protest that you want to do, go back to your state and allow us to be in peace. Because no to protest. We, the women of indigenous people of FCT, we said no to any protest that they want to do. If you have any protest that you want to do, go back to your state and allow us to be in peace. Because no.
Madam, indigenous people of indigenous Abuja, people will introduce her. The ronukus who have already taken over Abuja, you see them under the bridge, you see them at the bus stop. Everyone has already marked territory. And when you go back to your state, when did the indigenous people of Abuja started telling people to go back to their states? It is the ronukus. By the time Tifnumbu is done, all of you are going to know what happened to Lagos for real when it's done. And it will be irreversible. So the panic is everywhere, and we can understand why. The same way they cut other people's head. They don't go want me anybody play with sword around them. Say, no, I beg you, don't play with sword. You say, in Lagos, excuse me, in Lagos, the Association of Local Government Chairmen and SCDA of Lagos, the Tifnumbu's sewage, the leaders of Tifnumbu's sewage dwellers, the ways that got beaten like a rain beat chicken by the obedient, they don't come out again to also issue their own threats. No to protests. What is wrong with them?
As all the local government in Lagos, they will not tolerate any form of protest in all the local councils in Lagos State. So you can use your vote to protest, not to go to street and disrupt the activities and the economic activities of Lagos State.
We should all go out into our community and inform our people that such a protest is not needed at this point in time. That Nigerians have voted in a man in less than 2 years, and is doing all his best to put things in the right place. That going out to protest at this stage will not actually support the government, will not equally support the electoral value of our people.
This government is a government that is friendly, is a government that is ready to address the yearnings and aspirations of Nigeria. And they are doing it gradually. Rome was not built in a day. You do not expect the government to do everything in a month or in a year. National minimum wage he has moved it to 70,000 naira. I mean, this man is addressing the issues, and I think Nigerians should give him, more time to address this challenge. And I'm very, very optimistic.
Practically, there is a way we can express our grievances, we can protest by voting for the person that we think is good. But I'm 100% sure that by the end of the second or third year of this administration, people will not have any reason to protest again, because you will have been seeing the dividend of democracy, the fulfillment of all the electoral promises.
So I am using this opportunity to call on every Lagosian, in every local government, wherever you find yourself in Lagos, do not join any protest. The government of Lagos State, federal government of Nigeria, and all local governments in Lagos State, we are doing everything we can to ensure that we bring support to the people.
Anarchy loans. Anarchy loans.
Do you get the drift? They have been mobilized. All they have to do is to use the money they gave them and ensure that in each local government, you pay the thugs, you pay the agberos very well. That's your job. And make sure that nowhere anybody should not gather in anywhere. In a democracy, protest is part of it. But in the military, you are not allowed to protest. But with the people that are serial protesters, right, who are now in charge, they are telling people that we are doing everything we can to bring support to you. Meanwhile, everything they are doing continue to make your life hell. They say make you wait 2-3 years. So they want to tell you when to and when not to, how to, and what to protest about. Sure, you get now. So, because they believe that this could escalate so quickly, and they still see themselves as having power over you. You don't understand. It is the power of violence. Okay? They have all of it. The only thing you have is your number. Let me explain that. Currently, Nigeria currently have about 120,000 soldiers in the army. But the entire military, when you combine them, the Air Force, the this, the that, the entire military, like that, right? They have about 260,000 of them. Then they have the police, which is somewhere around 300,000. They have them, but I don't know if all of them are ghost worker, but they do. They have their record like that. About 300,000. Then they have other paramilitary. Not just the police now. I'm talking about like civil defense, this, that. So when you put all of them together, let's say maybe 100,000. Now, they have there are different known other criminals from across the country that they can activate for a different purpose or for different reasons anytime they want to. Okay? Then they have the judiciary, which ordinarily would have been the one to judge them when they misuse that kind of power, right? So they have them. How do you really think you are going to have your way if they chooses to use that power to stop you? Or if you make them use that power, they can crush you within a day. This is how they see you. Because to them, right, if we use everything like gaslighting, fear-mongering, arrest, or even death, that should cut down the numbers of you that we want to stand up to them and for long. But do you know that the only thing you have that can disarm all of that in minutes is just your number? It's like when somebody says, okay, let's stand up, and somebody stands up. The next person stands up.
in the hall filled with people, and 2 people standing, then another one, another 5, another 10, another 8, another 20, another, and before you know it, you couldn't even see anybody sitting down again. That time, you have become a legion. You have become a legion. And as a legion, they do not have the resources to tame you. So all they are doing right now is a mind game to continue, to pass on threats after threats. And at the same time, to keep making you feel like you are wrong, to expect a change in your life for the better within a year. So once they keep repeating this and you yourself is battling with that, like, oh, maybe it's true. Oh, they are going to destroy everything, These people are saying that they are going to burn everywhere down. Nobody said they were going to burn anywhere other than these guys. They are the ones who are saying, oh, these people are saying they want to burn. We will stand up. These are the mind games. Mind game to cut down the interest or the interested people. And the longer they drag it, the better for them. But something tells me they are about to witness or to see the greatest shock of their lives. Every one of them that is issuing press statements, making threats here and there. Majority of them are depending on those resources of military, police, paramilitary, and the rest of them, right? They are depending on them. And they feel like they will be protected when the casala bursts. Do you understand? They will be seen as those on the side of their oppressors and will be rewarded for being loyal to that point, that they did not join others. We're trying to hold their criminal leaders responsible. So this is mind game. They're going to play it until that day. They will play it on the day. They will play it on and on and on until they see that this is not like what they have seen before. And you know what you're going to see next? All those who are bragging, threatening you, all these politicians who are saying nonsense that you are seeing now, they will start begging. They will start begging that, you know what, please, please, it's our country. It's our only country. Yeah. So that is why when you want to make your demand, whether from northern Nigeria or southern Nigeria, all of you, don't ever make your demand based on people are hungry. People, no, that's not demand. You need electoral reform. You need all of the INEC staff and the rest of them are investigated within a week, and the report published, especially the 355 billion naira that they gave to them for the 2023 elections. You can begin with that and then tell them there will be no other election until there is a new constitution, that all gray areas are completely sorted. Stuffs like that. Ask them to sack all of these criminals who are now spitting on your faces. Listen, they will tell you all of this. None of this will ever happen. And the moment you believe that, then they are right. Do you get that now? So if they tell you nothing will happen, nothing will, my friend, there's nothing. The whole thing is just going to be, they're just going to cause. The moment you keep saying that to yourself and you keep believing that, then their number is working on you. If you believe that this has to, it will. But they want you to believe otherwise. Nothing where you do. Don't join them to come and nobody is coming to destroy anything than the higher their criminals that they are already recruiting. One of them posted this video yesterday. Look at the people they are recruiting to attack you in Abuja. And guess how much they gave them? 1,500 naira. One of them actually posted this.
Kin taro ne inda wasu matasa waɗanda asali su suka shirya wannan zanga-zangar da ake magana, kuma sun yi taro a yau saboda suna so su ɗau wani mataki kan wannan shirin zanga-zanga a ta ƙarshen watan nan. Kin taro ne.
You get that? They are giving us money here in preparation for the protest. We are going to make sure that we protest in support and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, that is Nigeria. And they are the ones telling you that those who are organizing the protest is political. Those organizing the protest are those who lost election with Ifnumbu. But they are the ones mobilizing people to cause problem, right? To attack those who want to hold them responsible for to their responsibility, so to say. They are the ones mobilizing state money, sharing money to the miserable poor people to help them disrupt. I have been told that they are already selecting those they believe will do the job for them in areas they consider as a hotspots. Soldiers will receive 100,000 naira. There are soldiers that have been selected. They will be paid at the end of the month. They will get extra 100,000 naira with their salaries. So if you get one, just know that your name has been shortlisted among those who are going to carry out a special operations in killing Nigerians in what is called the upcoming protest. They are taking it serious. So your salary from 70,000 or 65,000, they will add 100,000 to it. If you see that extra, just know that they pen you down among those they have selected that they will use in different parts of Nigeria to kill Nigerians. It's part of the plan. It's all about money to them. To them, it's all about money. Give this up. They will do anything you want. When people are poor, people are very poor, give them money, they will do anything. We need to show these people who are trying to mobilize and try to challenge us, these Nigerians that are screaming. We need to show them who is the boss. Esther, if you give us 500 million, we'll do the job for you. 500 million is okay. You will see. People are poor. If you give them 500 naira, 1,000 naira, they will do whatever. Esther, I have this strategy on how to stop the protest. Young people are proposing today. Say, we have an idea of how to stop the protest, sir. Esther. So instead of using the police, that people, the rest of the world will say, we are using police to kill protesters, sir. Or instead of using our police officers who are not going to dress in their uniform, they will mix up with the protesters and cause mayhem and kill people. Instead of doing that, why don't we just mobilize Nigerians? There are Nigerians who love you, sir. They are ready to die, to defend you, sir. They say they want to die. We just need to take care of them, sir. So what do you now think that we should do for them? Thank you, sir. Sir, because online, people are retweeting a lot. Thousands and thousands. So we are thinking, let's try with 1 billion naira, okay? So with 1 billion naira, we can mobilize at least 100,000 people. 10,000 in Kano, 10,000 in Kaduna. So we give them 1,000 naira, sir. We take care of them to make them happy. Yes, sir, they are poor Nigerians. And 1,000 naira for just how many? They will be happy, sir. You think say that is not too much? Are they not going to become greedy? You think 1,000 naira is not too much? No, sir, it's not to. It's not to. They will be very grateful to you, sir. They are ready to die. They said they would die for Ashiwaju. They said they were ready to defend Nigeria, sir, against these people, this enemy of Nigeria who wanted to protest the hardship in Nigeria. I said, okay, go ahead, then go and pay them. They said, zanga, shine.
Kin taro ne inda wasu matasa waɗanda asali su suka shirya wannan zanga-zangar da ake magana, kuma sun yi taro a yau saboda suna so su ɗau wani mataki kan wannan shirin zanga-zanga ta ƙarshen watan nan.
That's right. And you as a soldier, that you are getting ready for a time that you would cock your gun and get it and aim it at the people who are trying to hold these guys responsible for the condition they have put you. I have a story of this guy who is a soldier, a Nigerian soldier, fighting Boko Haram or the terrorists in the northeast of Nigeria. He has a story about his life. I'm hearing it for the first time. and I'm sharing it with you. Let's go.
Now, back to serve Nigerian army. I'm from River State. I don't suffer. I joined army 2013. Since that 2013, I did Northeast. No part of Northeast, bro, where I never serve. I don't serve army with my heart, faithful and everything. You get one of our CEO, our commander. His name na I.A. Osabu. That is Ibrahim Abdullahi Osabu. Now he be name from Nasarawa. This man no one use any person will be Christian. No one use I or ear hear anything where you do. How can a commander will become the one exhibiting, instigating religion inside army where would they work? I can categorically tell you, say, since I passed out from depot, since the uniform where they give me, where they give us where we train, pass out, army never issue me uniform again. I go northeast, war front to come back. As I come back, we then withdraw me from our operation unit, come back to mother unit, as in rear unit. You know, say for operation unit, now desert we they use there. So as I come back from northeast, come unit. Now unit now, they say now desert unit they wear, and me I get green. I no get desert because the desert where I wear is no longer presentable because I use them for operation ground. The green na in the presentable because na new one I never use them since green they know they use them for northeast. As I come back, I come wear that green. And green, army never banned green. Army no banned green. As I wear the green, this man, this our CEO, I no just know. He see me. We are green. He asked me why me I wear green. I thought and said, sir, please, I don't have desert. No only green I get. And they just withdraw me from operation. So with the time, I go buy the desert since they no go issue me. So now so the man one master warrant officer there with one staff. There say made in charge me. Charge me for waiting for putting on green. And this green when I wear, no beside me don't ban them. He say made in charge me. I no get money. So because of that, people say the people with the grant say make me avoid this man. Say this man no get joy. The man no since they started they get commander where they command that unit, say they never get this kind of commander. You understand? Saying said, make me meet our orderly corporal, make orderly corporal send me even a checkpoint where we they day. Everybody they now they are the unit. All of us they find small thing. If you want buy boots, you want buy uniform and all that thing. So they see the reason why soldiers are collecting money on checkpoint is because of all of these things. Since they are not giving them no boots, no issuing of boots, no issuing of any army kit, no issuing of uniform. So soldier, me personally, I can't go and thief. So no need that place, I get money. And besides, this man is pressurizing me because he is selling, they say uniform. So not knowing that because of they say uniform, that's when they pressurize me for me to buy that uniform. So me I no notice. Say now in business, in get business when they say desert the uniform. So that's when they pressurize me, make I buy uniform. So now I can't go the checkpoint. The money we get for the checkpoint for first day and second day, I use and go deposit for uniform. In they say uniform 22,000 naira. Now in they say uniform. Uniform where then they said 15,000, 12,000. Now in the man they sell 22,000 naira for us. I no get money. And from that checkpoint, I try get small money where I can go deposit for that uniform. Since that time, this man start following me. I carry rank. I carry my last corporal to get corporal. I carry my last corporal for complete 6 years, going to 7 years to get corporal. I needed to go on course. This man denied me of going on course. I go operation, 6 months operation where I supposed to get 46,500 naira for 6 months just to help myself, either arrange myself, buy uniform, buy boot and all that thing. He withdraw me back from that operation. I went in the presence of the soldiers, more than 200 soldiers that stood on that door by that day. I stood and I begged this man. I begged this man, not knowing that his intention is to remove my last corporal. I applied course. This man refused to give me course. I applied pass. He refused to give me pass. After that day of the door, brother, I begged him, this man, in the presence of soldier, tell me, say, me, he can never forgive me because I'm a Christian. Now, so this man see me 3 months to get my corporal. I carry last corporal for 6 years, going to 7 years. Just 4 months, 3 months, 4 months to get a corporal. This man removed my last corporal. That one no do him. After they rank me, he still post me. Me, where they don't serve 10 years for Northeast, where they find way to come out for Northeast. He still post me again. Go back to Sokoto for bandit area again. So the frustration is too much. I get wife, I get pikin, one baby, where they give me food, where they give food. I get mother, I get father, I get the people I need to help to. Now bad thing to serve Nigerian army. I not say the good ones do, but this is what this corner did to me. Before you go ask you, are you Christian? If you're a Christian, just forget it one day. And he has been doing this thing. If he continue like this, that is how he go do this. And he's eyeing to become a brigadier general. He's eyeing to become a major general. Let me help what I call him to. Or now bad thing to serve Nigeria.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. Oh. I am mumu too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise? How many times would they?
Woman. You heard all of that, yeah? Now the people will now they call say make they come plan coup be that oh. People will never chop. When they dream say military will just take over. Which military? You need to see what they themselves are passing through or going through. And you as a soldier, you are going on operation. I read it that the last time Nigerian army gave out uniforms to their soldiers was 2019, 5 years ago. And they do recruitment too, and people see they go there to join. Now, bad thing to serve Nigeria, you they mad. Who you they ask? Who? Poverty and desperation is making many of you to go and join the army, thinking they will give you money. Okay? And so many of you have ruined your lives, and others have actually died. It could give her. It could free of charge. One way they will now come to us and say, we are fighting to. Sorry, Jerry, to those of you who probably are my friends, okay? But you be wary. If as a Nigerian soldier, you look at me and say, you are fighting to keep me safe. Sure, are you even safe yourself? I put my life on the line to protect Nigeria. Oda ko ti sepe fun abi. Oda ko nse o je swallow e. Ko gbe mi gidi gan ko ma ever so sita mo. Protect who? They have to go out there and form and build roadblocks to extort money from people in order to go and buy uniform. I join army. Then they pay me 60,000 naira. I have wife. I have 2 children. But I still have to kind of go and buy my uniform. My commander, is also a uniform seller that sells uniform to the soldiers under him. What the hell? What kind of a country is this? Like, what the heck? And yet you see carry your gun. They say shoot, you shoot. Zombie. Zombie, oh, zombie, zombie, oh, zombie. That fella song just made a lot of sense now. Zombie. You know all these zombie movies? Everybody just go. They can't see us. They can see us. We need to hide the scent. We need to hide the scent so that the zombies won't see us. Because once zombie smells us, other zombies will become like, you know all those horror movies. They don't know. Even if that first zombie they enter fire, other zombie will still be like, fire. As this one is shouting, fire. Other zombies, they go to enter the fire too, like, oh, fire. That's exactly what these guys are. You are living a miserable life, but they give you guns. They carry gun, give you. You know, if you turn the gun on them, everywhere scatter, go bloody. But rather, you go and form a roadblock. Go look for the soft targets. The civilians. Hey, park your car. Hey, what's that? What is that in your car? Where are you going? What's that? Officer, how is everything, sir? Well done. Thank you for protecting us. We are here to do a stop and search. Yeah. Officer, I'm in a hurry, eh? Officer, please. Yeah. Officer, take. Okay. All right, safe journey. Good one. Yeah. They go back. Or because your soldier won't buy boots. They don't buy boots for them. They didn't buy them uniform. They didn't pay them well. They still carry AK-47 gun, give them. Some of them go on and become armed robbers. Imagine soldiers into kidnapping. Some of them goes into kidnapping. They look for the soft targets. People that put them in that mess, as soldiers who are supposed to have discipline, God knows the kind of training they are giving them though, right? People who are supposed to have discipline, they are tolerating the indiscipline and irresponsibility of the ruling class. But they do not have the discipline. They do not have the courage. They do not have that mind to face them and say, I'm a soldier. This is wrong. No. Soldier, where they go. Soldier, where they look for person where we wear camo. The way they go come put in frustration on somebody where they wear camo. Now, I think I understand why they beat you, say they wear camo. Because that thing that you just picked up at the bus corner, the bend down select, the one where you pay just 2,500 naira for. Now, waiting one soldier sleep for guard room because he no get 30,000 naira to buy. Now, you do short maker. So you see, say all these beatings, it's not in Nigeria law. It's in Nigerian, yeah. Then you look at the soldier who is beating you and say, what do you know me by? No, you die. You die. You know, taking him now. Now, come on, I wear now. Papa, me opinion now. I don't kill anybody. Why you they beat me like this? Why you they beat me say you won't kill me? Oga soldier. What I do you? You don't know me. I don't know you. How come you can't get so mad at me like this? Fine. Okay, I've broken the law. I'm wearing a camo, right? And you are a soldier, right? Then tell me to take it off. You take it off. I mean, if you want to satisfy yourself, fine, I'll take it off. Why are you beating me like this? Have you seen the video where soldiers are beating people because they wear camouflage? Ask yourself, kilo leto yen. Ask yourself. Che lori aso lasan, lori camo lasan, there's somebody who is a soldier who was supposed to be disciplined. One no your pabe bi kuku pa bi ko kilo di oga kilo di like oga come wait. What I do you? You don't know that it is because he is underpaid. He has no shoes, boots. He can't afford his uniform. He is frustrated. He can't stand up to those who are oppressing him. He can't speak out. He is a coward. He needs somebody to unleash that on. He's so angry. Why are you angry with me? It's just a cloth. It's just an ordinary cloth. Come on. Okay, I'll take it off. No, don't take it off. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Kill day. Kill little yen. Nigeria to frustrate everybody. They don't frustrate to death. Like, I want you to come plan coup. This is what you say they carry gun. We are planning coup. They enter Aso Rock. They come pass through the kitchen. Where were what do you call Teresa Mendoza, Abuja, Rati, Remi Ahmed, Remi Ahmed, Tifnumbu. If they pass through our kitchen, if you thought it mix the local vegetable and as well as Canadian this or that, they smell like hungry soldiers. Say, you know what? I think we should eat first. We can go on the coup later. Or maybe I should just have this chicken. These hungry ones, are the ones you are looking at and say, soldier will just take over. Military will just take over. Some of them are begging you today. Please, sir, fight for us. Please. Civilian, please. Please. You need to stand up and protest, please. We can't. I beg. I cannot show my face. I am a soldier, a Nigerian soldier. You civilian, please, you need to help us. We are suffering too. Please. Soldier, brave soldier, where you will see an American soldier. I don't even know how I want to kind of mimic an American soldier that is pissed off at the president of America. Yeah, I am a Navy SEAL. No, it won't talk like that. That's a typical Nigerian start. Okay, it doesn't matter. But you should look at the video of pissed off, like our American Marines who are really pissed off. They will make their video. That's anybody. Nothing will happen. Nothing. As long as you're not threatening the president, fine, rant, rave, just express yourself how you feel. Guess what? There's possibly going to be, if it goes viral, there's possibility that what you address, that concern will be addressed. Not in Nigeria. I'm a soldier. I cannot show my face. But I am suffering. Please. People, you should protest, please. We will not shoot you. Some of our friends will not shoot you, please. The gun they give us, even though no soldier will shoot you, we are all suffering. I say, okay, let's go and find out. You go trust them. It's all messed up, right? How do you kind of live your life like that? People will refuse to pay you well. They don't go buy you boots. They don't go pay you, they don't go buy you uniform. They will still send you to go and fight or carry AK-47, give you. So you and your party go hold AK-47. Looking for Amotekun. Abu. Your wife are they managing that under-bridge apartment? How are they coping? See, my brother Charles, I'm thinking that if I do this for 3 months, maybe we can get a place, one side shop, where I can put my family. I can't even go and see them. So is that how you discuss? With your guns? Looking for who? Amotekun to shoot, Abiwu to shoot. With empty stomach. How do you talk in the war front? Your lives as a soldier in Nigeria. How do you discuss with yourselves? Right? You just hold the guns there and you start talking about, with empty stomach. It's all messed up. Just like what happened here. Now, WAEC, educated, these are supposed to be educators. When we say educators, these are people who instill morals in us. These are people who shaped us. Oh, the irony. They were supposed to make us better, but they turned us into themselves. Now, money costs wahala between the WAEC people and the House of Representatives. The last time it was Uju Kennedy, the Women Affairs Minister, versus the House of Representatives, all over money as well. But this one is an epic one. It's a long one. No? Enjoy here.
Of the House.
The highest it has gone.
Saying we embezzled money.
The highest it has gone is 18% fund provided to WAEC. It's 18%.
Do you have any proof of what you are saying? Because you're under immunity, you cannot be arrested. Can you say this when you don't have immunity? You accuse me of fraud. Have you established it?
We are working with your documents.
But you
Did
didn't
the
allow
document
us to
say
talk.
there is fraud?
Documents.
So where did you draw your conclusion?
You can't answer any question.
We answered.
Is WAEC
Like I
an
can
act of parliament? 2. Your convention, section 14, clearly stipulates that WAEC Nigeria must comply with the legislative process of that country. 3. Did WAEC Nigeria, did you submit your budget to the Ministry of Education, who in turn submit that very budget or for that budget to the Ministry of Budget and bring to Parliament? No, that is it. Sorry, sir. Your capital, your current, and your overhead, which is captured in our annual budget. Appropriation. You question, you can't even answer. You yes or no, you can't. If you don't know, you say you don't know. Either yes or no, or I don't know. You keep on saying you want to explain. What are you explaining to us?
Sir,
Someone is asking you a question. You don't know this is Mr. Speaker asking you a question, and you are there telling us about
I think it's yes, but so even if they are stopping you.
To the police post, while more investigation about the WAEC activities on the subject matter. Take them to
You know that we created you. The National Assembly created you. Definitely checks and balances. We must oversight you. We must oversight you. Even your idea is not free money. Our children pay these monies. So you must give account when you appear to the National Assembly. Simple question. How did you do this? You had 2 million. You generated this. It's something we should know. The public should know. The country should know. Because you can't just sit because you generate 3 billion. You sit down and eat. No, no. We're not saying you should pay tax. We're not saying you should pay tax or revenue to federal government. But at least the one we have even given you, show us what you have done with it. You didn't stop there. We are also aware that you took a loan, but we have not reached there. So first, the one we have asked you, do you believe that we created the act? We established the act to create you as a
that in line with the statutes and the position of WAEC, WAEC is not a parastatal or ministry or agency of the government. Therefore, the situation as prevailed in government cannot be extended to WAEC. There is a portion on the convention on our statutes here.
Registrar,
it has
WAEC
gone.
Nigeria.
That was supposed to be
the Registrar, WAEC Nigeria.
But we were not given the opportunity.
The government has gone down. Okay? The government has gone down. So please, be guided.
My colleague tried to raise this point before the governor. He tried to raise it. Article 16
of convention.
It's a breach of convention, and Nigeria is a member of convention. And we must respect international convention. We have immunity on us by virtue of this convention, for which Nigerians and the parliament are bound to feet. That is what we want everybody to bear in mind.
That's what I want to draw attention. I should shut up.
There is a convention, there is an act. We have not acted out of that act.
Everybody. You are acting against the convention, which Nigeria has acceded to.
Articles 16 and 17 are very clear about it. We have given this document.
The WAEC Act is very clear. The convention is very clear. And you want to bundle us to go and arrest us? Which offense have you found against us? And you want to investigate? This is mere intimidation.
You were talking, you will not allow us to answer questions.
You give us a yes and no answer. So that we can
so
say yes. And it is this yes and no that brings about this misrepresentation that WAEC is fully funded.
Yes and no will not
we
explain
to you how we operate.
Yes and no will not explain. It's not explanation, but yes or no.
Arrest us in breach of the convention.
Let the whole of Nigeria know that this is a breach of convention.
The WAEC
and it's a breach of the WAEC
Act. Direct us to remit revenue to the government.
We were asked questions of yes and no. How do we explain yes and no?
When women will not want to hear. Arrest us. You don't want Nigeria in WAEC in Nigeria, then we know.
So we don't want Nigeria. That's why you are defrauding Nigerians.
Nobody is defrauding.
Don't hide under immunity.
Nobody is defrauding.
To make allegation that you have not proved. You are making allegations.
You are handling public funds and you feel those public funds.
You have not proved it.
You said 100% funded, which we have showed to you that it's not 100% funded.
And you are a honorable member of the House.
The highest it has gone.
Saying we embezzled money.
The highest it has gone is 18% fund provided to WAEC. It's 18%
Do you have any proof of what you are saying? Because you're under immunity, you cannot be arrested. Can you say this when you don't have immunity? You accuse me of fraud. Have you established it?
We are working with your documents.
But you didn't allow us to
say there is fraud. So where did you draw your conclusion?
You can't answer any question.
We answered with a yes or no. With a yes or no. With a yes or no, how can we explain? When we want to explain to you, you will not allow us.
Brought about this your wrong generalization and conclusion that WAEC is fully funded.
That's why you give us point of order. Do you not even a point of order? You are telling honorable members point of order.
Is that why you said we should be arrested? It's because you said we should be arrested and detained.
And
I have to let you know why you are talking, that you are working against the convention.
Humble yourself. I'm not quarreling with them, but you have to tell them the right thing.
But you said an emotion that we should be arrested. I should humble myself and allow you to be arrested.
You raise emotion and second emotion.
For offense you have not proved.
Can you go to a competent court of law to do what you are doing? Can you go to a competent court of law?
If they ask us to excuse them, we will wait outside. But if you want to arrest us, tell us you are arresting us so that we are sure. So we don't need you, we are going out. So we don't need you, we are going out. So it is not arrest. We are going to wait outside. If you are arresting us, let it be clear that you are arresting us in spite of what we have pointed out about our statutes and the statutes of WAEC. Yes, we are excusing you. We are arresting us.
Ìlú Nigeria, ìlú àwọn wèrè. Indeed. They said that you collected money, Abi, you no collect money from government. Yes, we collected money. But it was only 18% of our operational money. Okay, all the monies you've been collecting from Nigerians and stuff, how you are supposed to remit them? Say, no, we are not supposed to. So what do you do with the money? You cannot ask us. It's the convention. It's a WAEC, West Africa. What did they happen now? I be not with this same WAEC. They say Jegede, I'm waiting with that guy's name. Jegede something was generating highest money. That they didn't know what they have been doing with the money before Jegede came under Bokuwari. And they say this Jegede man who has been generating 3 billion, it's going to call billion. I thought they said they've been remitting the money. As you walk up, like say sometimes, if they really tell you what is going on inside Nigeria, okay, apart from the fact that you'll be wondering how that is even possible, right? You'll be more shocked to ask yourself, like, how is the country still existing? That beats a lot of explanation. Put it that way. Well, Obasanjo has this to say. He was on a program last night. Africa is sitting on a keg of a gunpowder. And it seems they are not even paying attention.
Warning.
about this. And all over Africa, we are all sitting on a keg of gunpowder because the youth, and there's virtually no exception in Africa where the youth are not angry. They are unemployed, they are unempowered, and they see nothing other than hopelessness. And in a situation like that, what you have from frustrated youth is anger. And when they have no hope, and if you really want to kill any human being, take hope out of his life.
Yeah.
And that is what is happening.
And they have nothing to lose.
And they have, well, if you have nothing to gain, you are jobless, you are not empowered, you are in poverty, and then you see your leaders, some of them in obscene affluence. Then what do you do? You are a human being, and the resources of your country is provided for that country by God for the benefit of all the citizens of that country.
Absolutely. I remember in 2011 when the Arab Spring was sweeping across North Africa, and then you came to Kenya a couple of years later, and we were talking about that, and then you coined a phrase that I remember all to this day. You said, from the Arab Spring, there'll be an African winter. Is this what's happening?
It's the beginning. And if no adequate attention is paid to the needs of the youth in Africa, the autumn will turn to winter.
And it'll be ugly.
It will be very ugly for all of us.
Tell me.
One.
Like him, hate him. It will still speak something that you can't really fault. Indeed, something is cooking. And only few who probably knows or feel it are those raising the alarm. You see those ones who are so blind because of power and everything around it, right? They deserve what is coming for them. They do. Here is Akpabiole explaining to all of you, as proud as they are now, that they have a minimum wage of 70,000 naira. Here he is explaining to all of you now what this truly means. I hope you do know. Your cleaner, your what else? Everyone that actually works for you, you cannot pay them less than 70,000 naira. That cannot buy them half bag of rice, too, right?
It says that if you're a tailor and you employ additional hand, you cannot pay the person below 70,000. If you're a mother and you have a newborn child and you want to bring in a housemaid to look after your child, you cannot pay that housemaid below 70,000. It is not maximum wage. It applies to all and sundry. If you bring in a driver, if you bring in a gate man, you cannot pay that gate man below 70,000. So I'm very delighted that this has been passed, and we now look forward to employers of labor going ahead to improve on what has been set as a benchmark for all and sundry to follow. So I congratulate the Nigerian Labour Congress, I congratulate all Nigerians, and I congratulate the Senate and the National Assembly in general for this epoch-making legislation, which has even reduced the time of negotiation from 5 years to 3 years in view of the sparing effect of foodstuffs. So it's now necessary that we review it every 3 years instead of 5 years. This is again a landmark legislation, so congratulations to all. On that note, It is now my privilege to pronounce that this Senate stands adjourned till the 17th day of September 2024 at 11 a.m. prompt.
ó ti gbóyè àtàyè ti jìnnà ìyá yẹn má lọ gbé gẹ̀ẹ́sì àtàyè lórílẹ̀ wọnú ẹ̀ ọmọ wèrè kò kú mọ́ kú tì èèyàn fẹ́ la kú tì wo ni wèrè ó ti gbóyè àtàyè ti jìnnà ìyá yẹn má lọ gbé gẹ̀ẹ́sì àtàyè lórílẹ̀ wọnú ẹ̀ ọmọ wèrè kò kú mọ́ kú tì.
Atari. Anyway, that's that. I've grabbed our book, okay? And I know that is where some of you will just be like, you know what? Okay, that's it. That's me. Fine. If you have to leave now, that's fine, okay? Just make sure that you like the broadcast, okay? Like it, share it. We are continuing with our White Malice reading. And I'm going to read for the next half an hour. Yeah, I'm going to read for the next half an hour. And I will take calls. So I'll take a break first. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And I will be back in a minute. No, probably longer than that. Just stretch my body. Thank you so much. So I want to believe that everyone left here is interested in this reading. So thank you. So I'm going to continue. Now we're going to just go straight to chapter 19 now. And it's about 17 pages. So let's get down to it. So this is us now getting to the stage where the cavalry is gathering, where the CIA, America, and the rest of them, they've had enough of Patrice Lumumba. It's either Congo breaks into pieces or Lumumba is completely removed and killed. So the cavalry, they say the road to Calvary. Road to Calvary. So once Devlin had returned to the Congo from Washington,
in late July, the CIA plots targeting Lumumba rapidly took shape. On 17th August, Devlin sent a cable to CIA headquarters, warning of a communist plan for which there was no evidence to take over the Congo. Lumumba, Kashamura, Ghanaian ambassador Jean, and Madame Blouin asserted Devlin are all anti-white and latter communists. So are Momo Touré, Yansan Sekou, and Louis Benzine, Guinean advisors. He added that Sergei Michael, who was attached to the Algerian provisional government and was currently serving Lumumba as his press attaché, was even more in the commie camp and anti-Western. The situation, he warned, is rapidly getting worse, and the commie design now seems suddenly clear. The commie design, it is already late. This was Devlin sending a cable to Washington in August 1960. Bronson Tweedy responded to the cable the same day. He was seeking State Department approval. He assured Devlin to remove Lumumba from power. Ambassador Timberlake, too, sent a cable on 17th August to the State Department. He warned that Ghana was giving aid and comfort to Lumumba and the communists, and that Ghana, along with Guinea, would oppose any change in the government of the Congo and any action of the United Nations which would reduce Lumumba's power or change his political course. The next day, at 9 a.m., in the summer residence of President Esinoa, a meeting of the National Security Council was held to discuss the Congo. Under Secretary of State Dillon presented background information to the council and asserted that Lumumba was serving the Soviets. Allen Dulles agreed, adding that Lumumba was in Soviet pay. Timberlake added Dulles was concerned that the ANC was armed and that Lumumba could use it to terrorize the whites. He might force all the whites out except for the Soviet technicians. The discussion was written up in a memorandum by Robert H. Johnson. This is the memorandum. Dulles argued that it was important to preserve Katanga as a separate viable asset. Esinoa was in agreement. He suggested it might be a good idea if the United Nations were to recognize Katanga, even though that view contradicted America's official position. The clear consensus around the table was that Lumumba was a threat to American interests and had to be removed. Maurice Stans hoped this could be achieved without violence. We might base ourselves on Shombe and Kasavubu, he suggested, and throw out Lumumba by peaceful means. So this was Robert H. Johnson's memorandum, though, right? Meanwhile, on the same day as the meeting of the NSC, at the meeting of the NSC, National Security Council, Devlin sent a dramatic cable from Leopoldville. Embassy and station believe Congo experiencing classic communist effort takeover. Many forces at work here: Soviets, Czechs, Ghanaians, Communist Party, etc. Although difficult to determine major influencing factors to predict outcome struggle for power, decisive period not far off. I believe so. Power. So it's a decisive period not far off. There was no basis for such an alarming report, but it justified Devlin's proposal for an operation to assist a Congolese effort to organize opposition to Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba, with the aim of replacing him with a more moderate and pro-Western government. He sent a follow-up cable reporting that Timberlake approved of the plan. 2 days later, on the 19th August, the CIA authorized the station in Leopoldville to proceed. This was the first big undertaking of the CIA's African division, and it was given every priority. It was at the top of the agenda at a meeting on 25th August 1960 of the National Security Council subcommittee responsible for the planning of covert operations, known as the Special Group. Members included Allen Dewes, Livingston Marchant. From the State Department, John N. Irwin II, the Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs, and Gordon Gray, the White House Security Advisor. The Special Group agreed to keep all options open for the possible removal of Lumumba. The meaning of this agreement was clarified by the release in April 2018 of the transcript of Dillon's 1975 testimony to the Church Committee, under questioning by Counsel Frederick D. Barron. Their exchange reveals details about the meeting of the Special Group on 25th August 1960. Mr. Barron, so from your knowledge of, this is like exchange now between Barron and Dillon, okay? So Mr. Barron asked, from your knowledge of Special Group meetings and minutes, it is your reading of this sentence that, in quotes, it was finally agreed that planning for the Congo would not necessarily rule out consideration of any particular kind of activity which might contribute to getting rid of Lumumba, of course. You would read that sentence to indicate that an assassination was within the bounds of the kind of activity that might be used to get rid of Lumumba? A question mark. Mr. Dillon answered, yes, I would. Barron asked again, and you were commenting before that, Mr. Dewes might be expected by, say, some members of the Special Group to return to the Special Group if an assassination were being mounted? A question mark. And Dillon answered, not only that, but anything being mounted, I mean, whatever action to get rid of Lumumba. And Gordon Gray, I think they would have kept him notified because it was sort of central in this thing. They wouldn't do anything without his at least knowing about it. So this reference to Gray, the White House Security Advisor, was picked up by Counsel Barron, who asked Dillon about the role of Esinoa in the acceptance of assassination as a means to get rid of Lumumba. Now the conversation from Barron and Dillon again. So Barron, Mr. Gray commented that his associates had expressed extremely strong feelings on the necessity for very straightforward action in this situation, and wondered whether the plan as outlined were sufficient to accomplish this. Let me represent to you that we have testimony from Thomas Parrott, the Secretary of the Special Group on CIA activity in relation to the Congo, who took the minutes for this meeting and other Special Group meetings, that when he used the phrase, in quote, Mr. Gray's associate or Mr. Gray's friend, of quote, he was referring euphemistically to the president. And Dillon answered, that is what I would more or less have assumed. But as long as you have that testimony, my assumption is probably correct. That was Dillon's response. So Robert H. Johnson also gave testimony in 1975 to the church committee, which substantiates the statement by Dillon. Johnson testified that when he was taking note of an NSC meeting in the summer of 1960, evidently the meeting on 18th August, President Ezinowa said something, I can no longer remember his words, that came across to me as an order for the assassination of Lumumba. Ezinowa turned to Deuce and said something to the effect that Lumumba should be eliminated in the full hearing of all those in attendance. According to Johnson, there was a stunned silence for about 15 seconds, and then the meeting continued. There was no discussion, he explained. The meeting simply moved on. But he could remember his sense of that moment quite clearly because the president's statement came as a great shock to me. He said he had heard of nothing like that since. John Hywen, the Assistant Secretary of Defense who was at the meeting, said later to the church committee that he could not recall any plan for assassination, but he had it. In quote, it is my general opinion that it would be improper for the Director of Central Intelligence to undertake an assassination operation without an express directive from the president. The president needed enough information to stop an action, argues Peter Gross in his biography of Allen Dewey, but not so much that plausible deniability is lost. That is, the ability to deny knowledge of a secret undertaking if it were to become public. Defenders of presidential virtues only insult Ezinowa's intelligence. Gross observes, in suggesting that he did not understand the intimidation he was receiving from his aides and the signals he was sending when he let the opportunities pass without a negative response. At any point between July and October of 1960, Ezinowa could have told Allen and Bissell that their efforts to immobilize Lumumba should stop, short of actual assassination. This, adds Gross, he did not do. On 27th August 1960, 2 days after the meeting of the special group, Dew sent an urgent cable to Devlin, in quote, Lumumba's removal. It read, must be an urgent and prime object and should be a high priority of our covert actions, of quote. Dew cited high quarters here as the source of this clear-cut conclusion, since the CIA director's only superior is the president. This was a clear reference to Ezinowa. Devlin was given an additional $100,000 to accomplish his goal by whatever means possible. To the best of my knowledge, he wrote in his memo, no other station chief had ever been given such latitude. If further evidence were required that Washington supported our own conclusion about replacing Lumumba, that was it. Meanwhile, Deuce had been keeping in close touch with his friend Bill Budden. He flew to Brussels for a quick survey with him. He briefed me on the recent decisions of the National Security Council. Budden records in his memo, the leader we could depend on in a showdown with Lumumba. Deuce told Budden was young Colonel Joseph Mobutu, second in command of the Congolese army. Lumumba had despaired at the United Nations' inability to remove Belgian troops and to bring Katanga back into the Congo. On 21st August, he followed up on the earlier threat he had made and appealed to the Soviet Union for help. This appeal was made a full 3 days after Devlin's warning to Washington that Comey design now seems suddenly clear. It is already late. This suggests that Devlin was motivated less by evidence than by a wish to justify his actions. Esinowa later stated in the second volume of his autobiography that a Soviet ship with trucks and technicians arrived in the Congo in late August. It was estimated, he added, that 200 Soviet technicians, in addition to some air crews, were in the Congo without UN authority. He described this as a Soviet invasion. But David Gibbs argued in the Political Economy of Third World Intervention that the role of the Soviet Union in the Congo was minimal. There is no evidence, he writes, that the Soviets actually sought to take control of the Congo. Even if the Soviets did intend to seize power, he adds, it is very doubtful that they could have done so. He illustrates the point with figures for both sides. At its height, the communist intervention in the Congo comprised no more than 380 Soviets and Czechoslovakians or Czechoslovaks against 14,000 United Nations troops and many thousands of Belgian military officers, mercenaries, and technical aides. Gibbs acknowledges that Lumumba's party, the MNCL, received funds from the Belgian Communist Party, but points out that it was also funded by the right-wing Liberal Party of Belgium and by colonial business interests. Indeed, it may have been funded by the CIA, which had advocated the funding of Lumumba in April 1960, less than 4 months earlier. There is little evidence, adds Gibbs, to suggest that Lumumba personally was a communist, a point recognized and accepted by American officials. Frank Kalushi made a broader point about the role of the Soviet Union in the Congo in an interview with Charles Stuart Kennedy in 1997. Now, quote, this is the question of the journalist asking Frank Kalushi. At that time, did we see were the Soviets or the Soviet embassy, was it a real competition? I mean, did you find yourself jostling the Soviet political officers or not? Kalushi, no, I can't recall the Soviet embassy being that active. In any case, it was not Lumumba that was the problem. Bronson Tweedy believed. The concern with Lumumba, he explained, in his testimony to the Church Committee in 1975, was not really the concern with Lumumba as a person. It was concern at a very pregnant point in the new African development, with the effects on the balance of the continent of a disintegration of the Congo. The real trigger for such intense American interest, he added, were the resources of the Congo. The Congo, after all, was the largest geographical expression. Contained in it were enormously important mineral resources. This was why Washington was so concerned about Lumumba, not because there was something unique about Lumumba, but it was the Congo. The standard explanation for American behavior in the Congo is that it aimed to hold the line against Soviet incursion. Observes Ebere Uwaubani. But there is more plausibility, he adds, in arguing that there was a fusion of strategic interests, especially anti-Sovietism, access to Congo's uranium deposits, the geographical size of the country, and its location at the heart of Africa, as well as what Stephen Weissman has identified as a deeply ingrained NATO reflex in United States African policy. On 25th August, the day when the special group resolved not to rule out the consideration of any particular kind of activity which might contribute to getting rid of Lumumba, the Congolese Prime Minister attended the first day of the conference in Leopoldville of independent African states. He and to chart a clear path on African economic and political cooperation. Yuri Zhukov, a Soviet advisor who had just arrived in the Congo, saw the flags of many African countries waving over the entrance of the parliament building as he drove past. The flags of the Congo, Ghana, Guinea, the Cameroon, Togo, Ethiopia, Liberia, the Sudan, Morocco, and the United Arab Republic, that's Egypt. So the Union of Egypt and Syria. Delegates included Frantz Fanon and his friend Felix Roland Momi, the Cameroonian freedom fighter who had moved to the Congo in 1960 to lend his support to Lumumba. Fanon and Momi had established a fond friendship with each other and with Lumumba in Accra in 1958. Lumumba gave the opening speech at the conference, in which he referred explicitly to the threat of the West's greed for the Congo's resources. Our Katanga, because of its uranium, copper, and gold, warned Lumumba. And our Bakwanga in Kasai, because of its diamond, have become hotbeds of imperialist intrigues. The object of these intrigues is to recapture economic control of our country. Lumumba went on to insist that our future, our destiny, a free Africa, is our affair. We all know, and the whole world knows it, that Algeria is not French, that Angola is not Portuguese, that Kenya is not English, that Rwanda, Burundi is not Belgian. We know the objects of the West. That's some deep stuff there, man, right? Anyway, so we know the objects of the West. Yesterday, they split us on the level of a tribe, clan, and village. Today, with Africa liberating herself, they seek to divide us on the level of states. In Africa, he argued, they want to create antagonistic blocks, satellites, and having begun from that stage of the Cold War, deepen the division in order to perpetuate their rule. Little did Lumumba realize that even as he was speaking, an American plot was afoot at the conference, disrupting its progress. One of our early operations, Devlin reported in his memo, was an anti-Lumumba demonstration when the latter spoke at a meeting of African foreign ministers held in Leopoldville on August 25th. On Lumumba's arrival, protesters shouted, "Abbas Lumumba, down with Lumumba." When he started to speak to the delegates, he was drowned out by the mob, who chanted anti-Lumumba slogans. Devlin regarded the success of the operation with satisfaction. This undermined Lumumba's image of a man loved by his people and in full control of the nation. He had counted on the conference to strengthen his position within the Pan-African movement. But instead, the delegates were caught up in the reality of the Congo situation. The CIA-inspired protest was filmed by Patchy cameraman and was screened in a newsreel that was shown around the world. It gave an entirely false impression of people's attitudes in the Congo. On the first evening of the conference, Prime Minister Lumumba gave a dinner for the delegates, the diplomatic corps, and foreign visitors to Leopoldville. A military band played in a shady flood-lit garden on the bank of the mighty African river, observed Zhukov with pleasure. Along with other guests, he was met formally by Lumumba on his arrival. His energetic, animated face, noted Zhukov. instantly impresses itself on one's memory. The piercing, glowing brown eyes that reflect profound assurance and spiritual dignity seem to look into your very soul. One of the delegates to the conference was Washington Okumu, the Kenyan CIA asset, handled by Howard Imbre. He stayed at the Regina Hotel in the center of Leopoldville, not far from the railway station. Before independence, Congolese people had been barred from entering the hotel unless they were servants. Now, some Congolese politicians were living there. Also staying at the hotel was Dad, one of Devlin's long-standing agents, whose cover in the Congo was as a businessman. Devlin described the Regina as one of the oldest and most run-down hotels in town with little to recommend it. But at least it had a bar, live music and dancing. It was a far cry from the luxurious Memling, where George Whitman stayed in Leopoldville. Andre Blouin was even less impressed than Devlin with the Regina Hotel. Come on, let's stop talking about it. Let's go to something else. This is how we're going to be reading it now, because sometimes like intangibles are also mentioned just to give details of, what happened when and all that. I'm going to start skipping some of them. All those descriptions are pretty much like irrelevant when we are, What do you think? So that's why what they did in the hotel, the type of hotel they were staying, and the rest of that, they are intangibles. Okay. Thank you so much if you are still here with me. Remember, only those who probably have been following this reading will really stay back. And if you want to see more on this story, right, just go on and check White Malice on Maiyegun's Diary Politico. You will come across a lot of chapters we've been on. So I've got just about 6 more pages to go. So we'll see. Oh, hang on. Okay. We do have about 6 more pages to go, and that can take us for like another half an hour. Yeah. So we probably won't be taking calls. No. So let me finish it. Get it done. Okay. So Lumumba had expressed profound confidence in the future of the Congo and of Africa in his opening speech to the conference. But this confidence was dealt a heavy blow on 5th September. Unexpectedly, President Kasavubu suddenly dismissed him as prime minister and entrusted Joseph Ilio, the president of the Senate, with the formation of a new government. Kasavubu made the announcement on the radio at 8:15 p.m. The door opened on a gulf, record blowing, and the Congo plunged into the abyss. Alone, at night, like a mad woman, I raced to the home of the prime minister. A dense crowd had gathered outside the prime minister's residence, including ministers, members of the NCM, Movement National Congolese, journalists, and the mere curious. Guards prevented Blowing from entering. My heart's aching. I sat in my car in front of the residence for a long time, waiting for the results. The very thing I had dreaded had come to pass. It broke like a thunderclap over the young republic, blasting its new life. Less than 6 weeks had passed since the Congo had achieved its independence, and since Patrice Lumumba had been sworn in as its first democratically elected prime minister. Devlin argued in his memo that under the loi fondamentale drawn up earlier that year in Brussels, the president had the legal authority to dismiss the prime minister and replace him with another person, but the replacement needed to obtain a vote of confidence from parliament. In fact, however, the president did not have this legal authority since the law had not yet been ratified by the Congolese parliament. At 9:05 p.m., less than 45 minutes after Kasavubu's announcement, Lumumba arrived at Radio Leopoldville to challenge his dismissal on national radio. No one, not even the president of the republic, he declared, has the right to dismiss a government elected by the people. Only the people can do so. He added that Kasavubu's appointment as head of state should be revoked. A number of people in the studio applauded his speech, shouting out, "Long live Lumumba, long live the Prime Minister, long live the Republic." He spoke on the radio twice more that evening. Cameron Duodu was following events in the Congo carefully for Radio Ghana and trying to understand what was going on. As far as Radio Ghana was concerned, he recalled later, the assiduous work done by our monitoring service, French speakers, recording the speech, describing it in French, and then translating it into English, all at full speed, enabled us to capture Lumumba's speech direct from the parliamentary chamber in Leopoldville. We broadcast it all to Ghana and the outside world in both English and French. He took special pride, he said, that as the editor on duty, I was able to allow people to partake of a very important moment in African history. At the time, it was happening. On 7th of September, the Chamber of Deputies met to discuss Kasavubu's action. Sitting in session until 3 a.m., the deputies agreed by 60 votes to 19 to annul the decision, whereby the Prime Minister and the head of state had dismissed each other. The next day, the Senate met and confirmed the decisions of the chamber by a vote of 41 for Lumumba and 41 for Lumumba, 2 against, and 6 abstaining, including Elio and Adola. 29 members were absent. It was a triumph for Lumumba, but at this moment of strength, Gizenga noted, with intense frustration and regrets, he made a dangerous and irreversible mistake. He failed to act against those who had plotted against him. Gizenga's anxieties were quickly justified. On the 11th of September, Lumumba's series of victories against his enemies suddenly hit a brick wall. At 4 p.m., he was prevented from speaking on Radio Leopoldville. Aware of the power of the Prime Minister's oratory and his massive popularity, his enemies silenced this means of communication with Congolese citizens. Kasavubu, though, was allowed to continue speaking on Radio Brazzaville with the encouragement of his political ally, the Abbe Fulbert Yulu. To Lumumba's horror, he saw that the men preventing him from making a broadcast were Ghanaian UN soldiers. To him, this was a double betrayal. First, they were United Nations troops. And second, they came from the very nation that had been urging him to take the path that had led to this moment. The leader of the men was Colonel Joseph A. Ankra, the brigade commander of the force based at Luluaborg in Kasai. Anicet Kashamura witnessed the bitter dialogue between the two men, in which Ankra accused Lumumba of being a communist. Lumumba, in disgust, described Ankra as a traitor to the United Nations and to Ghana's president. Lumumba immediately sent a hot and angry message to Nkrumah. I hasten, he wrote, to express to you my indignation regarding the aggressive and hostile attitude of Ghanaian soldiers towards me and my government. The Ghanaian troops, he reported, seized the arms of his guard and even wanted to shoot me and my soldiers. He referred as well to a hostile declaration by General Alexander in London against the Army National Congolese. In the circumstances, it declared, I feel obliged to renounce the help of your troops in view of the fact that they are in a state of war against our republic. Instead of helping us in our difficulties, your soldiers are openly siding with the enemy to fight us. The truth behind the episode was revealed to Nkrumah on 12th September in a message from Jane, his ambassador in Congo. It was Colonel Ankra, said Jane, who was chiefly implicated in the refusal to let Lumumba speak over the radio. Ankra, he added, was very close to General Alexander. If you would allow me, wrote Jane to Nkrumah, I would say that this is the culminating point of General Alexander's intrigue and subversive actions, which I have time and again, time and again pointed out, and which was also confirmed by all the delegations which had paid a visit to the Congo. He urged the immediate dismissal of Alexander from his post and of all the white soldiers in the Ghana contingent of Honuk. Nkrumah was horrified. He at once replied to Lumumba's note, explaining that he found himself in an embarrassing and invidious position with respect to the way the Ghanaian troops were being used in the Congo. He added that he had been fighting like mad and he has been fighting like mad day and night on your behalf. He sent to Lumumba a copy of a letter he had just sent to Secretary General Amashkot, in which he warned that if Lumumba were not allowed to use his own radio station at Leopoldville to inform the Congolese people of the critical situation, then Ghana will withdraw our troops from the United Nations Command and place them entirely at the disposal of the legitimate government headed by Lumumba. On the same day, 12th September, Nkrumah sent a further and lengthy note to Lumumba. You cannot afford, my brother, he urged, to be harsh and uncompromising. Do not force Kasavubu out now. It will bring you too much trouble in Leopoldville when you won't come there now. He gave detailed advice on cabinet reorganization, recommending that Lumumba should walk through a smaller inner cabinet for quick decisions and appoint a separate technical cabinet to ensure effective cooperation with the United Nations and with foreign states. In any crisis, he assured Lumumba he himself would mobilize the Afro-Asian bloc as he was now doing. Brother, he insisted, we have been in the game for some time now, and we know how to handle the imperialists and the colonialists. The only colonialist or imperialist I trust is a dead one. Nkrumah urged Lumumba to avoid any future misjudgments. He concluded his message with a powerful exhortation. Patrice, I have surveyed the position in the Congo very, very carefully. If you fail, you have only yourself to blame, and it will be due to your unwillingness to face the facts of life, or as the Germans call it, real politic. Your future will be a great blow to the African liberation movement. I'm sorry, your failure will be a great blow to the African liberation movement, and you cannot afford to fail. Nkrumah. Lumumba was arrested on 12th September. A warrant for his arrest had been issued by the order of Chief of Staff Joseph Disa Mobutu on the grounds that Lumumba had rejected as illegal the attempt to dismiss him as prime minister. Lumumba was released later that day, largely due to the energetic intervention of Jean. As before, Jean held Alexander responsible. He reported to Nkrumah that the prestige of Ghana had been run down to its lowest ebb by General Alexander's intrigues. Unaware of Jean's efforts, Lumumba wrote again to Nkrumah, objecting to the hostile attitude of the Ghana troops. But then, when Lumumba was told of Jean's attempt to release him, his attitude to Ghana changed instantly. I gathered from the remarkable change in Lumumba's attitude towards me and from the friendly smile on the faces of his cabinet ministers, wrote Jean to Nkrumah on the 15th September, that the part I played for his release had gone home to Lumumba and his cabinet ministers, who on the previous day had insulted me as treasurers. The bitter tussle in Leopoldville continued. On 13th September, the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate voted at a joint meeting to back Lumumba as the legitimate prime minister of the Congo by 88 votes to 5, with 3 abstentions. The next day, President Kasavubu prorogued Parliament, but the president of the Chamber of Deputies and the vice president of the Senate refused to recognize the instruction. The parliamentary votes and the failure of Kasavubu to prorogue Parliament had frustrated the plan to remove Lumumba from power. Now, Mobutu and his supporters turned to a more extreme military measure. Mobutu went on Radio Brazzaville on 14th September to announce that the army had seized power, suspending civilian rule of the Congo until on 31st September. Devlin later claimed that the CIA was responsible for this ruthless development. According to a summary by the Church Committee of an interview with Devlin on 22nd August 1975, Devlin contended that the coup of Mobutu's seized control was arranged and supported and indeed managed by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. Mobutu established a college of commissioners to serve as a government. This council comprised Congolese university graduates and last year students from both Lovenium and foreign universities. Justin Bomboko was appointed as president. Albert Ondele became vice president, and Victor Nendaka was made chief of the security police. The dreaded Sûreté Nationale. All 3 men were being funded by the CIA. So too was Kasavubu, who was kept on as president. He signed the decree that legalized Mobutu's dictatorship. Mobutu closed the Soviet and Czech embassies and ordered all Soviet and Czech diplomats and technicians to leave the Congo within 48 hours. It was an exciting moment, recalled Devlin in his memoir. Our efforts to remove Lumumba and prevent the Soviet Union from gaining control of the Congo were at last bearing fruit. The following day, Lumumba took refuge in the Ghana officers' mess. He asked the United Nations for protection, and Rajeshwar Dayal, the Indian diplomat who had arrived in the Congo on 5th of September 1960 to take over from Ralph Bonche as Amashkov's special representative, responded immediately. He arranged for Ghanaian troops to escort Lumumba out of the camp at nightfall and take him safely home. When Mobutu announced the coup on the radio, Devlin and Andre Blouin were at the home of Alison Talipoma, the American vice consul, in an apartment building overlooking the Congo River. Shortly after our arrival, recorded Devlin, Andre Blouin, the Prime Minister's glamorous and beautiful chief of protocol, received a phone call and departed in a great rush. Blouin was devastated. The days that followed Mobutu's season of power, she said later, were like a modern apocalypse. A modern apocalypse. the Congo was on the edge of madness. Kasavubu had at least pretended to conform to the constitutional laws drawn up by Belgian lawyers. Mobutu made no such pretenses. Democracy was completely overthrown and replaced by a military dictatorship. Parliament was closed by Mobutu's orders and rigorously guided by soldiers. For Lumumba, Mobutu's coup was the start of his road to Calvary, said Bloin. From then on, the conspiracies against him were carried on openly. Each day, Kasavubu crossed the river to Brazzaville to consult with Yulu and the Belgian embassy there on decisions for the young republic. For a few hours every day, Radio Congo broadcast from Brazzaville the most vile calumnies against us. At a press conference on the morning of the coup, Bomboko had announced the expulsion of the Ghanaian, and Egyptian United Nations contingents in the United Nations Command. Among a number of individuals issued with an expulsion order was Andre Bloin. When her mother, Josephine, heard the news over the radio, she suffered a heart attack. Bloin begged Mobutu over the phone for more time. She was granted just 48 hours. Felix Roland Mumi was deported to Ghana. On arrival, he met with Fanon, who was in Accra at the time, and together they went to see Nkrumah. The president had asked Mumi to write a report on what he had witnessed in the Congo. On the 1st October, Fanon and Mumi left Ghana for Rome. From there, Fanon went to Cairo, and Mumi went to Geneva. Within weeks of his arrival, Mumi was poisoned by an agent of the SDECE, the French Foreign Intelligence Service, who put thallium in his drink during dinner at a restaurant. The 34-year-old suffered agony in the hospital for 2 weeks, eventually dying on 3rd November 1960. In Brussels, Ambassador Borden welcomed Mobutu's seizure of power. Peace came slowly as Lumumba's power dwindled. He wrote in his memoir with satisfaction. Finally, a coup by Kasavubu and Colonel Mobutu brought about a consolidation. But some Americans in the Congo had doubts about Mobutu. I think Larry Devlin and I went to see Mobutu shortly after he took over, commented Frank Kalushi many years later. After Mobutu had been president of the Congo for several decades, I walked out of there saying, Larry, this guy can't last 10 days. Kalushi added a self-mocking aside, shows you how good a political leader analyst I was. So he was wrong to think Mobutu won't last 10 days when he took over power. He ruled the Congo for more than 20 years, probably not 30, before he was eventually captured again by another coupist. Long story. So on 17 September, Lumumba wrote to Nkrumah to inform him of his plan to move the seat of parliament and the government to Stanleyville. Gizenga was already there with some other ministers of the legitimate government. Lumumba concluded his message with an expression of renewed trust and loyalty. You can rely on me, he told Nkrumah, and I can on you. Today we are one, and our countries are one. Thank you so much for listening. That is the end of chapter 19. Now we will be going to chapter 20 the next time we open this book. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, I think we have about half an hour. This half an hour is to open the line to those who want to probably add their voice to this chat, okay? Half an hour it is. And if there is no real call or anything, when I come back, we can just wrap it up and see later in the evening, okay? So I'm going to go on another break, a short one.
Thank you so much, okay? And yeah, in the absence of no call, okay, I can say this and then wrap it up and we'll see later, right? I know there are some of you, I think it is something that has to do with, you know, the way that Nigerians were, I don't know, like the way Nigerians were possibly like, I don't know, can we say the way they are raised? You see, I've had people who have been on my platform, okay, few times, and usually they will be like, oh, why are you not talking about so and so? Oh, my friend, well, instead of you to talk about, instead of you to man shake that in a cause that they cause people like you, Emeka, you are lucky that somebody deleted that your nonsense, okay? This is Maiyegun's diary political, all right? And it is whatever you see on the screen that you have a choice of either watching or not. I remember when we started all this reading, they were actually like recommended by the members of this platform. You see all these books you see here? They were all bought and sent over by the members of this platform. So when you see Maiyegun reading and you don't like reading, what is all this reading? All you have to do is just gingerly, just pass. That's what you should do. It is so stupid. Not just stupid as well. It is so rude. Okay? For you to jump into a platform and something is being streamed, and then the next thing that comes to you is that, why are you reading this? Why are you reading all this long story? If I want to read book, I can go and read book. You'll be unfortunate, so like, is there something that actually will make you stay there? Like, you are so useless with your life, right? So bored with your life that you can't see something you don't like and just move on and say, okay, you know what? Oh, he's reading. I'm not interested in reading. I'll probably listen to him later when he's not reading. Than for you to be with in your miserable life like that, right? You grab your phone and then you type. My friend, why are you reading? Why don't you just do something else? No, you should do something else. You don't have to sit there and watch. So I hope the person that deleted you there also helped me ban you, because that's what I would do. I always ban people like, you do not go on to somebody. See, whatever I give to you is what I want to give out. It's, you know, when you consume that or you don't want to consume, it's up to you, right? Don't stop coming to my platform and tell me what to say or what to do or not to do. If you don't want me to actually like curse you like that, right? Don't. So I can sit down here and just be like, you know what, play me music, and I can start dancing. If it makes you feel so, I don't know, if it kind of makes you uncomfortable, the best thing is what? Just swap it and just go and watch something else. Right? It makes you look like people. I mean, people would do that, right? It makes you look like, you know, people who are like, you know, people who are miserable with their lives. You get that now? Like, you are so miserable with your life, right? That you needed somebody like me to please say something that will make you probably comfortable, right? And then since you can't get that, the next is for you to kind of type it and be like, why are you reading? So it's not a flex. It's absolute, what do you call it? Miserability. And you shouldn't bring it closer to me. Okay? If you see 10 people watching Maiyegun, Maiyegun is reading from a chapter or something there, right? It's because those 10 people wanted Maiyegun to read. That's why they are there. And if you become the 11th person, you do not have any right to begin to say, why are you all seated there listening to reading? No be me cobalize you. So this is Maiyegun's diary political. Okay? And yes, I know say they try to cure the what is self-inflicted madness that a lot of you are suffering from. But there's something you must remember. Okay? I am not the source of your unfortunate existence. Okay? I am not the source of whatever you are going through in life. I do not hold you a certain medication that you say, why are you not giving me my medication? Why are you not talk about this one else? I am not your doctor. I am not your therapist per se. Okay? So when I choose something and I decide to spend my time, right? It doesn't matter how many number of people are listening.
you can just be like others who don't want to listen to whatever you want to call it. You do not have to come and disgrace yourself on my platform because you only say it once. You won't say it twice, I promise you. So you don't have to watch. Clear enough? Right. So I saw what got taken care of earlier, okay? So when you see the title of Maiyegun's diary, political, and you see what Maiyegun want to talk about, is enough. I don't think many people actually give so much description to their videos like I do. Yeah, like I always list out what I want to talk about. And you see this long list. If you read them, they are enough to show that, yeah, I want to be part of this. Well, I don't want to waste my time, Jared. I want to go and do something else. And I respect that. You know what I mean? I respect that. Don't ever come to my platform and tell me what to talk about or what not to talk about. Because once I clock you, right? Once I clock you, I know your type. You will never say it again. If you cannot take yourself out, I can take you out myself. So I don't need your advice. You those miserable people like that, okay? I don't know what you are going through with your life. Okay, we are all going through whatever we are going through. But I am not the person that is, what do you call it? That is your therapist. The one that you feel like once you see me on the screen, I have to be doing something you want. That makes you probably take away your, whatever it is your heart is facing. We're all facing it too, right? So thank you so much, everyone. Well, the number to dial is right there on the screen, but we are not taking any calls now. I'm just going to seize my time, use that and finish early this afternoon, and maybe rebound and come back later in the evening when we can have another longer, possibly steaming gist. Thanks, everyone. So if you haven't bought your own ticket to attend the Yoruba Union Summit in Glasgow next month, please do. And we are also looking forward to launch our Yoruba Union portal where everyone can actually sign up. Sign up, get verified, be part of the something great that is cooking. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I am going to see you later, and we won't take calls again. I'm sorry. I know the calls are beginning to come through now, right? We'll take calls later in the evening, okay? Enjoy the rest of your afternoon or your morning. I will see you later. Good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun diary political. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.